showreel, right? Which shows you a bunch of new effects, and this is why he's good. He knows how to do the effects that makes it work a lot better, right? Again, the exterior shots he put into Kinder made Kinder work so much better. It's incredible. That's when he got to 1,960 subscribers. That's the Markham Mandragoner, right? Again, I really think that worked. Diamond. That must be Invasion of Time. Oh, yeah, that's the dinosaur from what's it called again? Not Spear from Space. The Silurians. Yeah, and I like he retains the original design. That's Spear from Space. They're great. Those oh, that will be what's the name? Season 7 story. Oh, I'm totally blanking on it. Not the faceless ones. It's the spaceshipy one. Doctor Who episode guide. It's a very Quatermassy one. Professor Quatermass. There we go. Third Doctor, season 7 is Ambassadors of Death. Yeah, the Ambassadors of Death. And again, for me, it makes watching the story much more enjoyable because I'm just distracted by the old. Bit of a villain action there. That's pretty awesome. That's from Robots of Death. I don't know because I watched it recently. Oh yeah, was it Meglos? Again, these exterior shots just make the whole thing come alive. Not Meglos, Leisure Hive. Oh, State of Decay. And what's the one about the taxes? They looked very beautiful in it. It was Quatermass. Oh, this is a great example, right? This is from Deadly Assassin and how it makes it into a non-studio bound story. And it's a very studio bound story. Right, the death and destruction coming together really work. If I could pay this guy, I totally would. No idea what sort of. Oh, this was Invasion of Time again. Deadly Assassin. It was all nighttime shots. Invasion of Time. It was all daytime shots. Just looking forward to him like going through all of them. Oh, that's the claws of Axis. Bit of E-space action. Looks at TARDIS in space.
No, K9.
Yeah, I do enjoy the improved K9 phase.
Stop her!
I do like the time corridor sequence as well. Oftentimes he puts them in just as an intro shot, but it really helps enhance the story. Yeah, oh, this was a great look at this, how he put the capital in the background. right, of Invasion Time. I think for me, again, I like tying the canon together. Oh, yeah, this is the Vardencroft arriving. Again, for me, I understand a lot of people hate this. It's really enhanced it for me. That was a bit suspect. But I just don't know why the BBC don't put these out. But they should take his Matrix edition, just put them all on iPlayer. Yeah, that edit, for example, I think was a very clever one. Whereas exterminating Davros as he's reaching for the right, that really worked. So big recommend. So I am right, yeah, and now he's up to the Visitation. I just started watching that, so good for him. Anyway, let's start talking about the war between the land and the sea. So again, I don't really get the hate about it, right? It's okay. It's one of the best things that's been on TV this year. It's not particularly a high bar. It's certainly one of the best things that's been on, like, TV from the BBC, right? Is it finger-waggingly woke? Yes, it is in many places, right? It definitely echoes Greta Thunberg's worldview, and she's just a clueless moron racist. They won't put them out because they're doing. They would only show how crap the current stuff is. That's true, Archie Collin. You're absolutely correct there, right? So this. So anyway, yes. Okay, I think one of the biggest problem of this is it really could have used more episodes, right? This is the 5th episode, the final episode. We were kind of skimped on the war and the war between the land and the sea. I think this could have easily been an 8-episode season, right? And so that's it. It feels truncated to me, right? It does feel truncated, and maybe they just didn't have the budget to do it properly, right? It's and I think you two actually have some old school Sea Devils in there somewhere. But the basic premise is the Sea Devils wake up. They're very mad at all the dirt and pollution and littering in the sea, and they have they come and have some kind of parley with man, right, at in London for some reason, and then they choose Russell Tovey as their as the human ambassador, because he crossed himself when they found a dead sea devil, Homer Aqua, whatever, hanging there. The rename the sea devils Homer Aqua actually worked in that people were complaining, that doesn't make any sense. And they said, like, in story that it doesn't make any sense. So I'm like, well, okay, then it doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. So which is fine. It was. I really wish they would do Doctor Who like this, which was it took itself seriously. It wasn't as dumbed down as Doctor Who, which is really, really annoying. Then they spent half the episode in the capsule going down to the bottom. Yeah, but actually I found that compelling viewing, right? Because it was written well. Generally speaking, the stuff written by Pete McTeague was compelling viewing. And stuff written by Rusty Davies he's a bit over the hill, right? And you can see 4 episodes of padding, followed by a final episode that concentrated on characters that the writers had lost interest in, while some interesting stuff was happening. I think I don't agree it was padding. I really don't like if something is poorly constructed. I'm looking at my phone. I'm not interested. This kept my attention, right? So this week not so much because it was a bit dragged out and paddy, right? But it was much more. Look, it was a political thriller, but it was also a very much a character piece, right? So for me, that I found to be successful, right? Yeah, I did find that to be successful. Anyway, okay, fine. So they firstly have Salt turns up, who's a reasonably sexy, amphibian, aqua person, whatever. And she chooses Russell Tovey. And then essentially it becomes a weird love story between the two of them, right? That's the core of the story. And it's done a lot better than Gemma del Toro's Shape of Water, right? For me, it feels a lot more sensical and a lot more grounded. I think it's probably because of Russell Tovey's performance, which I found excellent throughout. I think it's probably one of his best performances. Like, he plays straight convincingly, right? Even though he looks very gay. Right? But he plays straight very, very convincingly. So that's really the core of the story. And so what happens? Then they invite humanity down below to where the sea devils live, right? And one person who has this plan to blow them up, which is what we're watching right here, right? And that causes hostilities. Salt then saves Russell Tovey by snogging him as they swim very fast somewhere, right? So he can breathe, I believe. And she's able to stop the bends, the decompression stuff somehow. I don't know, with a magic sea devil powers. And then it turns into a bit of a political thriller as Salt is an outcast. She will always swim alone, but they forget that in about 10 minutes. She's on and they introduce a new ambassador who's much more hardcore, right? Much more doesn't like humanity at all. Humanity's got 5 years to be able to reform itself completely and stay off the oceans, right? When humanity's like, well, we need to go to the ocean. We need to get there. This is how our world works. And in the meantime, Salt and Russell Tovey, what's his name? I can't remember his name, are hanging out somewhere. And 1 second, just got a communique from the missus. Let's see what she's going to say. On our way home, fine. Let me just give a little thumbs up. And here, let me see if we can. Okay, let me find a baby's icon. Okie dokie. Oh, they both got blonde hair though. Can they change it to dark hair? I don't know. Here you go. Yes. Okay, fine. Sorry, I'm writing in emoji. It's not my first language. And now we'll do a broom and cup. We'll have a car. Here we go. Doink. There you go. See, even the same colour as my scar. I hope she's able to decipher that. Anyway, what was I talking about? I was talking about the war between man and the sea. Now, talking to my wife in emoji is more interesting. Sadly, right? Sadly. So anyway, so where were we up to? So now, I think that's basically where we left off. That we got a much meaner sea devil who's more pissed off with us, and it's looking bad for humanity. And they just caught him, whatever his name is, and Salt escaped. Right, she swam away to freedom. Oh, this is the evil general person who's come up with this thing called Severance that will defend themselves. This is the evil new Sea Devil guy. Here, did we hear him talk? He's very good.
Full of despair. In this war, you're something of a warrior yourself, and yet full of despair.
Yeah, no, he that's not one of his better speeches, but he's very good. Oh, meanwhile, I forgot. Kate Lethbridge. The least interesting thing about this show is the stuff that intersects with Doctor Who. Kate Lethbridge has been sleeping with Colonel Ibrahim Sexy Pants, and he's been killed in part of the political intrigue, which is like the different unit factions, unit fighting against different factions. Oh yeah, last week ended with the unit and the regular army about to open fire on each other to see who's going to capture Salt and whatever his name, Barclay, right? Barclay. So, oh, fine. So he's taken to a safe house. So this is kind of a mean opening, right? If you like dogs, this is not for you, right? So the Aqua will turn up, right? And they everyone's like out walking their dogs, loving their doggies, and it blows a horn, and then all the dogs come running right into their nets, and they're like, "Say, you just ate all our dogs." I'm like, "Well, you come to our lands and you fish, right? Why can't we come to your lands and eat your dogs?" So they're domesticated. Kate, by the way, is like she keeps seeing Colonel Sexy Pants everywhere. She's losing it big time. And again, honestly, this is the most interesting character development for her, but it's really out of character what goes on. Oh yeah, we have the mind-bending scene at the end that Rusty Davis has been like really salt and vinegar. That should be the name of the ambassador. That would be much funnier. No, he calls himself Tide, right? Oh, Dr. Alex is here. How are you doing, sir? Season's greetings. Fine. Where are we up to? So now Kate Lethbridge Stewart is talking to a counselor, and she's like saying, "Yeah, I need some more of that. Whatever you give me, Thorazine or whatever it is." And the counselor's like, "No, I've got to take you off active duty. You're barking mad." And then she says, "Listen, I know your son doesn't come from your husband. I know it's from an affair from this time. I'm a spy." And either you give me the medicine, my prescription, or I'm going to destroy your life, right? So she's really going off the rails here. But again, I kind of like this. Meanwhile, at home, she keeps seeing Colonel Sexy Pants, right? She's having, this is probably again the most interesting thing that she's done. I've always found her a very bland character, right? Right, that's her getting a prescription from her psychiatrist. Meanwhile, Russell Tovey, they keep prodding and trying to work out what the deal is with him and doing all these tests and working out how he's connected to Salt or whatever happened. Yeah, they totally did the deed an episode or two ago. I can't remember. Mad, I was furious. Says Archer Collin. Counselor with the head screwed on there until Kate Lethbridge took it off. Right, so he's got friends on the inside, right? Who, he's talking about his everyday life with his wife and kid, right? So they got all that stuff's going on with whatever Barclay. Meanwhile, they finally work out what's going on, and the sea devils are melting the ice caps. As we speak, right? And they say in 5 years there's going to be they're all going to be dead. Still didn't get your book, mate. Still didn't get your book, Lonnie. Again, Christmas mail. You got to expect minimally. Look, Amazon takes 2 weeks. I don't know how everything else goes, but Amazon takes 2 weeks, right? So yeah, they found out that's their dastardly plan, and evil. Sea Devil said, "We don't give a shit." Here we have a line from him. Oh, he's talking about the polar ice caps melting.
What you began.
But with respect, we do need to know.
But you started this.
Nevertheless, I have to ask.
You started this.
Yes.
Right, talking about the polar ice caps melting. So and he's like, well, you guys started. So he has to have a secret clandestine meeting with his wife and daughter in a pub, right? And where it really falls down is Russell Davis trying to write dialogue for a daughter, which is something he really has no idea what he's doing, right? Send me the email, Lorne. I'll tell you what it says, or just put it in Google Translate or ChatGPT, right? They'll translate it for you. So he's talking about his life, right? So he gets they're asking him, does he love Salt, right? And it goes, no, she's a girl. But he's got this thing. He has somebody on the inside that helps him out, fake the loop of him being in bed, and every day he sneaks out and he drives to the coast and he runs into the water and screams out for Salt, but she doesn't come, and he's very sad, right? But he's a double triple agent, the guy helping him with the bad military industrial complex people, right? And they're working on their grand plan for Severance. Now, Kate Blanchett confronts the Prime Minister, says, I know about Severance. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, listen, mate, one day you're going to be out of power, right? And I'm going to hold you to account, right? It's a very good scene, actually. But again, honestly, who I wanted in charge of a unit, a show I would watch? The Black Colonel General guy from the first couple of episodes. He was great. Wouldn't melting the ice caps to wash all the rubbish that the sea devils threw out of the sea back into it? Probably. Again, look, nothing really works. It's not a, it doesn't have a strong plot presence, right? So she's like, oh, you're going to be Prime Minister one day and then you'll be sorry. Fine. So Barclay, and so this guy is his guard, and he's the one that helps him sneak out, but he's really worked for the evil military complex. And then he has a drink, and it's been drugged, right? And he changes the camera so it looks like nobody's there. And they have a whole like Mission Impossible thing. Doctors go in there, and they give him this drug, which will be a major plot point shortly, right? But it looks like the war between the land and sea is over. The land has lost because they are going to melt the polar ice caps, right? So anyway, so then he sneaks out again and goes to find Salt. They also worked out that Salt's in the wrong part of the earth. So they find a way of getting her in the right part of the earth. So when he calls out to her, she can finally appear, and yay! Quite a good line about you humans also in your funny little clothes. I kind of like that. The difference in cultures. So they kiss each other, and they're happy to see each other. I mean, again, this must have been. I'm assuming they didn't film this in the water, right? Otherwise, we would have been free. They do look cold. The makeup's very good, right? It doesn't look rubbery, right? It looks like real. And she says that I'm going to try and work something out. I don't know. Oh, he says you've got to ask for something or other, parlay or something. I can't remember. Gives a secret word they got to like try and transmit it out. And really, it's a little side quest, right? To get to, and oh god, unit's so excruciatingly woke. Like another guy in a wheelchair. I understand. Like, I don't know where they got their mind that like normies hate people in wheelchairs. Nobody hates people in wheelchairs, right? Like, genuinely, I don't know anybody who's ever gone, oh, that wheelchair cunt. Oh, that like I just don't know anybody who's like that. Maybe there are, but I just think in Rusty Davis. Anyway, another guy in a wheelchair who works out how to send out the signal. They send data packets every day, and they've embedded it in there. The signal. Wait, what's it called again? Parlay. But all the Sea Devils have suddenly gone quiet, right? What's going on? We don't know where they are. All right, so they're trying to work it out. And then they come to a beach and they find a bunch of dead ones. And they've died from, and it's got the same thing all around the world. Lots of dead sea devils, right? So, and they report it on the news. Again, this is probably how humanity would deal with this. All right. So this is something to do with what Barclay did, what Barclay was injected with. And it's not really explained, but it's intimated that when he kisses, maybe Salt, that's how the disease gets transferred to everybody. But yeah, it was at this time she was swimming alone and nobody would be with her whatsoever. And they doing all sorts. They work out it's a tailor-made disease to kill sea devils, and it wipes out 90% of them, right? So then they get a signal that they knew that the ambassador is coming back to talk, and they want Barclay back as the ambassador again for humans. And we don't know who he is. Is it the mean guy bloke or is it the other one? So you got two of the like Homo Aqua and one of the more human kind, and you know who it is. And then it turns out to be Salt. They get to see Salt again, yay! But she's upset. 90% of the world has been the species have been destroyed. Again, this could have been another 2 episodes easily, right? Wouldn't it be great to actually see the ice them putting together the plan of the ice cap melting, right? And then maybe see some some flooding from the ice cap melting, which is how they find out. Like again, I understand this is all budget, but like, dude, you can make it with AI. Right, they can make it with AI. I don't know what to tell you. So the Prime Minister's very happy with herself. But she says, "We know who did what, and water will find you." Right, and you see what's it? Where you see like it must be a flash forward where he's in the shower, right, and all of a sudden he's spurting up water. He becomes right. I think he drowns himself, and then the next one is the evil colonel. They get drowned in a car, right? Which I thought was quite good. The music is so much better as well, right? The music really is so much better in this than without. What's his name? Whatever his name has been composed forever on Doctor Who. Actually, you know something really interesting? You know what really improved season 2 of Blake 7, and I'm amazed about it? June Hudson as the clothes designer, right? She really makes it better, right? The new costumes, it's amazing the difference it makes, but it's significant, right? It really is significant the difference that the new costumes make. Right, I was surprised, right? Because she's just very good at her job, right? She really is. I really appreciate that. So anyway, so then say, look, we're really sorry. You can have this trench over there. We'll make sure no pollution gets to you. It's a demon. It will be nice. Well, we don't really have a choice, really. You know, you're going to kill us all if we step out of line, and we're terrified of you because you humans are bad, right? And that's basically the point. Humans are bad. Bad humans. So then they leave, and then for some reason the containment thing starts to break and floods everything. I don't know why. They don't explain it. Then you got Kate Lethbridge Stewart talking to whatever her name is, who again vaguely less annoying in this than anything she's been in before. Shirley Bingham. Right, and then there's urgent call from Barclay's doctor, which is what? So they take Barclay, and there's people who don't like him, and they take Barclay and they drive him to the coast, and he talks to his wife, and he cries, and his trans kid, and he cries. Oh, they cry, and he runs out to the sea to fight and calls for Salt. Salt, where are you? And she turns up. It's like basically the end of The Little Mermaid. Hi, we can be together now. You murdered 90% of my species. Okay, thank you. And they snog, and then all of a sudden, for no reason that's apparent, but apparently the doctor knew this was going to happen, he develops gills, right? He develops gills, and they go swimming off happily ever after in the aftermath of the Holocaust that wiped out 90% of the world. Right, 90% of the Homo Aqua, and off they go swimming, right? And then off they go, and Kate Lethbridge goes off, right? And then that's it. We have a bit of a post-credit scene, a mid-credit scene. Now, I'll remind you, the Ralph D. Davis told you this is world-shattering. This will change everything, right? It's ripping off Smash, exactly, right? This post-credit scene is exactly the same as everything that Ralph D. Davis has hyped up. Not worth the hype. Like, the whole rest of the show was quite good. Right, I think it needs an extra episode or two. Right, sloppy writing for convenience. I just think sloppy writing's all he really got. The ending should have been to the theme of Marina, Aqua Marina. Why is there that enchanting smell of fish whenever you're near? Right, penis sort of Thunderbirds. There's a few concepts out there. This is Dan. This isn't the war between the worlds, the worst thing ever broadcast. It wasn't, which is really ridiculous. I agree with you. Quality compelling series that roundly succeeds in most things to set up to. Yes, that's a very succinct review, which I would agree with. Again, it's not like it's going to give you a hand job through the screen, right? It's not that awesome. Pretty good. It was pretty good. It was a fine use of 5 hours of entertainment, right? Much better than most. So anyway, we get the titles, right? And then we get the mid-scene title, mid-title scene, I should say, where Kate's walking along the bridge and an evil white man who is over 40 has a drink of water and throws his water aside on the beach. And she says, excuse me, do you mind picking that up, please? And he's like, what? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. And he's like, no, please clean it up. Please pick it up. So you're just a mad cow. Leave me alone. Right, and she's like, I'm asking you to pick it up. And then she pulls a gun, right, and tells them to pick it up. And that is the mind-blowing scene that Kate's gone off the rails. We knew she went off the rails. The trouble is there anywhere this is going to go to? I don't think so, right? I don't think this is something Big Finish can run with. I don't think. I mean, they might pick it up in the in the Christmas special. I really don't know. This might be one of the plot points they want to round out. But I really don't know. And honestly, I don't really care. Yeah, but it's, again, it's not, it's markedly better than anything that's been on in the shape of Doctor Who. I'll say since Jodie, right? I mean, like, it's markedly better than anything's been on. And it's just, I don't know, the Rusty Davis, Disney era was so dumb and infantile, written for children. He didn't really know what he's doing. He was out of his depth, and he just massively screwed up. Right? I think that's the best way to say it. He just massively screwed up. Which is fair enough, I guess. Right? I mean, like, and everybody gets to screw up every now and again. Don't know what to say. Anyway, this was not well received in many quarters. Both the woke and the anti-woke don't like it, right? Finally, it's brought peace and harmony across the world because it's got those two extremes of people completely in sync. They both don't like it, right? They both were like, well, look, the woke didn't like it because they made Kate Lethbridge-Stewart straight, right? And that was the reason they didn't like it. That was really it. And I think Ruth Madeley's character was straight as well. Oh no, straight people exist. Anyway, let's see what Bleeding Cool said about it. Doctor Who: The War Between the Emo Melodrama and Dumb Plot Holes. Again, I found a perfectly serviceable, miniseries. I could have done with another few episodes. I could have done with this being an 8-parter, frankly. And I think it would have been stronger as an 8-parter. I think it would have been stronger had they built up Kate Lethbridge-Stewart's relationship with Colonel Sexy Pants. Right? I think that would have made it a lot better. Essentially, I think that would have made it a lot better. Like, because it's such his murder, right? His killing is such an integral part to the plot, and you don't buy it at all because it's built on quicksand. All right, I think that's one of the biggest problems. So yeah, more episodes than had they built up that plot strand better, right? Which they just didn't because they didn't have enough time. Again, more episodes. Doctor Who, the war between the emo melodrama dumb plot holes, the finale of the spin-off, the war between land and sea, ends with plot holes, an unconvincing love story, and sloppy writing. Why? Because it's heterosexual. Why is it so unconvincing? It doesn't really make sense. And lo, the Doctor Who spin-off, the war between land and sea, came to an end. Does it stick the landing? Well, I think more so than anything Russell Davies done for a finale for a long time. I mean, certainly not Doctor Who finales, not the specials, right? It's as good a finale. It's a better finale than David Tennant's exit, than his Doctor Who exit. It's probably a better finale than the Martha season of Doctor Who as well, right? But it's not a strong point, right? It's not a strong point. Where we're up to? Okay, yeah, came to an end. Does it stick there? Well, it might have worked better if the writing had made any sense. The problem is the entire series had an escalating number of plot holes, which made it increasingly nonsensical. The pacing was also off. The big apocalyptic events that were supposed to drive the plot just came and went with little impact off screen, right? The complete. I mean, like they could have had a whole episode with the death of Aquakind, right? They could have really made that a lot stronger, right? Came with literal impact, while the unconvincing love story took center stage to diminishing returns. It's kind of fair as well. Like, why did Barclay get kills? I don't know. It was maybe from kissing her for the first time. Maybe from having sex with her. I don't know. So grief-stricken Kate Leffingwell is seriously losing, but refuses to step down her job. And even hilariously horribly blackmails the therapist into not only giving a clean bill of health, but upping her medication so she can see the crisis through. Okay. Oh, my ears are blocked up. Maybe Aquakind getting to me. Survival stops Aquakind kidnapping and eating everyone's favorite pet dog. That is true. This was not disturbing as much of a bad joke. Yes, that's fair. The fish people are now melting the polar ice caps, which threatens to drown the surface world. A sideline Barclay is heartbroken about salt. And he feels the changes to his body transforming into a fish man. When did that happen? He keeps sneaking out every night from his security detail to go to the beach to try and reach Salt telepathically to no avail. I thought it just screams into the water. I don't know. Meanwhile, Kate Literature and Unit are trying to figure out what the openly gloating Evil Three, the UK Prime Minister, US General, and French General, are plotting to get an edge over Aquakind and the end of the war. The openly gloating Evil Three plans turn out to involve Barclay to deliver a type of victory that's genocidal act of imperialism, reminiscent of what the US government did to Native Americans in a blaringly obvious analogy. I mean, not really. I mean, I don't really think about what the government did 300 years ago, right? 350 years ago. I mean, like, I really don't. I don't think that's really connected to me, right? I don't feel guilty about that. And like, I don't know, why don't the same people feel guilty about what African governments are doing now, right? Or South Africa? No, they couldn't care less, right? It's all about feeling guilty about being white and Western. And I'm sorry, look, Western European culture has been an incredible boon to the world, right? It's brought more people out of poverty and increased standard of living for most people, right? I'm sorry that's the case if you're a bonkers socialist, but that's just how to be the case. All these plots are perfectly solid, but the excuse was so arbitrary that it deflated any real dramatic impact of the story. Like, yeah, but that's kind of fair, right? That is kind of fair. It was weak. You're right. The writing was definitely weak. The first 2 episodes of War Between the Lands here set up the premise that was intense and urgent in ways fans wish Doctor Who could be. That's true. After that, cracks began to show in nearly every turn. Why didn't the Aquakind have technology that checked the weapons of the diplomatic party and brought them in? Who knows? That doesn't really bother me. Why does Kate have bodyguards, or at least reinforced bulletproof guards? Doesn't have bodyguard reinforced bulletproof guards in her apartment? Then you just have to use a special bullet to get by it or something. Come on, it's not hard. You can write way out of that. Why does the British government Cobra meeting in the UK's security defence building only have three obviously evil people in it who aren't part of the British government? I mean, that is a fair point. I guess the guy was the billionaire guy gave the government prime minister a lot of money, right? Yeah, I think that gives you access. Like, it's kind of a Lord Alley sort of thing. It's an evil US general, an evil French general, and an evil billionaire, this millionaire businessman who donated to the Prime Minister's party. But where are the British generals, the heads of intelligence service, Home Secretary, the Defense Secretary? Well, look, the last thing you want to do is get David Lammy in there. What a moron. I mean, really? God, he's going to sound so... If he sounds so stupid in real life, in public, how stupid must he sound behind closed doors? There was... that was where the show lost me. Everything dramatic seemed to happen too quickly and easily because I say so. Man of lazy writing. Again, you're right. He is right? But I just think it would have done better with another few episodes, right? I really do think it would have done better with another few episodes. And look, I'm calling out for more episodes of Ross C. Davis, Whoniverse is insane. But, it needed it, right? It did need it. That's where all these problems came from. I think it was probably conceived as an 8-part series and they cut it down to 5 as part of the negotiations. But it really feels like it should be 8 parts. Everything too much writing was vague and screenwriting requires precision and specificity. That is true, right? The entire series teetered on the biggest plot hole of all as a deep marina trench, right? The Aquakind had technology far in advance of humans. If pollution had been killing them and their children daily, why did the Aquakind even bother to negotiate? They could just wipe out humanity in a few days. I think, again, that's something should have been fleshed out in the Aquakind Security Council meetings that we didn't see, right? They could have said, rejected that. That's not their way. And you could have juxtaposed that against the Cobra meeting as well and made your point stronger. But again, you needed more screen time, right? You needed more episodes to do that. They could have just killed all humans without announcing any need to talk on God and Life. Yeah, no, that's indicating that they're better people than us, essentially, which is what I think the outline message was. Like how bad white people are. Dumping all the plastic waste in the sea back on the surface of the world is an environmental disaster that's already world-ending. The global economy would have died right there rather than the government characters fretting about agreeing to Aquakind's terms. They would take too long to destroy the economy, and that's when it's already been destroyed. Yet there's no mention of particular plastic waste in the second episode. Yeah, you're right. Because there's a lot of plot holes, but because of I think the strong character development, character writing, and the strong performances papered over those cracks, right? I really do. I think it really did paper over those cracks. So the Aquakind. I got another message. Yeah, what's this one saying? Fine. Nothing important. Where we're up to. The Blackboard American General is in the first few episodes meant to be the same character from Children Verse. Yes, I believe so. Right, and again, if you wanted to have Unit, he should have been the guy in charge. So much better than Kate Lethbridge Stewart. Okay, so it's lazy and authentic. It's like the plot was an afterthought to the character scenes, and the main characters sell the emotional moments. Well, at least they did sell them. Moments founded on a shaky foundation, barely redeemed by great acting. I thought it was very redeemed by great acting. How much longer does this go on for? Okay. The rushed, unconvincing storyline overshadows the whole finale. It's not that unconvincing, the storyline, right? It was more convincing in the third episode, I think. Right? If you're rooting for fish fuckers, you might be happy. Well, aren't we all rooting for a fish fucker? Sure, it took the genocide of virtually the entire species, but the lovers got together in the end. This seems to be Russell Year's fanfic remake of Gemma Torres' Shape of Water. I think this is better. Albeit some half-baked political elements. Yeah, well, that's fair. Russell and Tovey have a great chemistry, and they act their hearts out to sell the love of the story between Barkley and Salt. They're so good that they can have chemistry with furniture. But the flawed pacing and the series made romance feel rushed and like almost gratuitous. Yes. It's like there have been genre demands in there. The problem with the final script placed it above everything else. The big guys won off screen. I know that was a big problem, right? Without the heroes being completely aware of the evil plot, right? It's so wasted, right? Again, another 3 episodes would have really done the trick. The heroes ultimately did nothing to stop the bad guys or save the day just because the script says so, right? Could this be why Disney Plus hasn't announced the streaming date? There are all the above storytelling problems the real reason Disney Plus hasn't announced a global streaming date. No, they just don't give a shit, I think. Disney executives could have watched the first 5 episodes and went, WTF? It's ironic that James Cameron Avatar Ash and Fire opened the same weekend as War Between Land and Sea. It conveys a very similar environmentalist message, more successful than Doctor Who spin-off does. Well, it had a lot more money. Although, again, I never watched I only watched like an hour of the second one. And I don't really think it's doing that well, is it? It doesn't move the needle on the future Doctor Who at all. It's already turned into a jokey meme and an internet Monday morning. But pretty much, look, yeah, no, it didn't save Doctor Who. You're right. It's only available on BBC One and iPlayer in the UK. Exclusively for the BBC license fee holder. This is not yet announced streaming date for the rest of the world. Look, I sailed the high seas. 6 out of 10. So I think it's fair to say they were not fans, right? They were not fans. Metro says the Doctor Who spin-off could have been great without this mistake. What's the mistake? So could have a strong star, larger than life, portrayal harms of the ocean, pollution, plastic apocalypse, blah blah blah. That's all true. By the 3rd episode, she was forced humanity clean up the global pollution on an accelerated timeline and convinced Barkley that a group of devils to travel. Yeah, we got there. Okay. This is where it started to fall apart. Actually, I think that's a fair point. After the deep sea negotiations are literally blown up, she chooses to save Barker's life and is immediately exiled for Aquacine for her actions and completely forgotten. Right? That's a plot point they literally just completely forgot. I mean, again, I guess after the apocalypse having 90% of your race killed, the rules somewhat change a bit, probably. As soon as she falls out of the leadership and in love with Barkley, I can't help but notice a lot of her will, grit, and determination seems to fly out the window in favor of flirting with a new lover. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like that. I'm a bit of a romantic, right? Perhaps if there had been more episodes, the show could have been more balanced. Yes, that's what I've been saying. By the time we enter the finale, she has accepted her fate as an outcast, even without trying to put her fight and reclaim her authority. It is left waiting for Barkley to find her again. In fact, the only time she does spark the power is towards the end of it, when she attempts to run away with Barkley once more, and he encouraged her to return to unit to end the war. We saw something away once more. Okay, it felt like a bizarre decision to also have stripped of agency when they spent so much of the first half of the show building her up as a master negotiator with a sharp intelligence and steadfast resolve. I kind of preferred the guy replacer. As sweet as a romance storyline is, I would rather have watched Barkley and Salt working together to tackle the injustices of humanity for more than 3 episodes into a spread up love story. The twisting and negotiations were far more engaging plot rich storyline, and sudden romance simply didn't have enough build up pull up. Same with Captain Sexy Pants or whatever his name is, Colonel Ibrahim. The more importantly, sacrificed well-known character depth to develop. Yeah, okay. In the end, the antagonists are successful. The antagonists are successful and managed to murder the vast majority of Aquadine in a disturbing portrayal of genocide. And we see Salt's spirit utterly broken as she emerges from the water tank once more. Yeah, so not fans, I would say. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Let's see if we can find the ratings. So the ratings are not fantastic. They were 1.79. But honestly, I think this is like we're going to have to wait here. Let me see if Doctor Who TV, I think, has good ratings. Yeah, 1 second. News. What do you think of it? It doesn't have the ratings over here. I mean, like, look, the ratings are not great, right? They're not. Where was it again? So receiving an average of 1.79 million. It's below 2, isn't it? That's pretty bad, right? That is pretty bad. I mean, like, here, Doctor Who ratings. No, it's what ratings. Yeah, 24. Let's have a look. Compare it to Shooter's episodes. What's this? This is no Rose. Wow, I don't want to do all of those. Let's hear. Wait. What's each column? Overnight, 7-day consolidated. I think this is when you got to see the 28 days consolidated. So 1.79. The better than 1, 2, 3. Yeah, look, it's a somewhat average a place for Doctor Who, right? Right, for the the overnights were not great. Not great. Again, I just found it mostly harmless, right? That's how I would describe it, mostly harmless. Anyway, Big Finish have come out with a new unit series, and oh boy, am I not interested. I mean, depends who. I mean, I like that they got they got Lefford Stewart. Let's read it. Units eras tour, right? Remember, stand up. There we go. The fearless defenders of Earth are back in a brand new audio series. Gemma Redgrave, Ingrid Oliver, Bonnie Langford, and more star in Unit Era's Hostile Universe due April 27th. I'm really not interested in this. Let's see if they can get me interested. Let's see. Oh, my ears are so blocked up. Here we go. So what's the deal? Since the foundation in the mid-20th United Intelligence, the Unified Intelligence Task Force, United Nations Intelligence Task Force, what it used to be. Unified Intelligence Task Force has been protecting us from these alien threats. Often they have aid from a Time Lord, the Doctor, but sometimes they have to rely on their own personal and high-tech resources. Okay. In a brand new series, Unit Eras will highlight the heroes from across the history of the organization, beginning with the 4-part anthology, Hostile Universe. It shouldn't be an anthology, right? It should be one story told across several eras, right? Yeah, it should be one story told across several eras, and I think it's a mistake not to do that. And then you could have, like, you know, your and then it would feel bigger, right? It'll feel like more an event. This is just kind of like throwaway interesting stuff, right? We're not really that interested in it, right? So the box set will comprise, it's got Lefford Stewart, Kate Stewart, Osgood, Sarah Jane Smith, and Harry Sullivan. It also features Big Finish debut of Colonel Mace, Richard Holiday Evans from the Sontaran Stratagem Poison Sky. Which was that guy? Let's see. I guess we don't. Rupert Holiday Evans. Why didn't they ask Evans? What was that? That was some Agatha Christie's thing they had on over Christmas one year. Seeing pictures of him. All right, so it's that bloke. Do you remember him? I don't. Whatever. But he's back. Did you miss him? Did you notice he wasn't there? I would like to bring back, what's his name? The scientific advisor from, what's it? He was a real name. Is it Lee Evans? Right? That would be really fun to have him back. I thought he was a really good bit of stunt casting. What's the name of that one? That was on with Lady Christina D'Souza, played by the very, very sexy, whatever her name is, girl from EastEnders, who was the Bionic Woman for a minute. Doctor Who episode guide. There we go. It was the 10th Doctor. And I think it was the specials. Planet of the Dead. Okay, who was in that? What's the name? Hang on. Well, Michelle Ryan, fine. Yeah, she's the very, very sexy Lady Christina D'Souza. Aaron James. Am I missing someone? What's the name? He was Lee Evans. Yeah, bring Lee Evans back. But that would actually be something exciting. All right, I don't know. And I thought he was quite good as a fun, like, throwaway character, frankly. Fine. And as well as the first big finish audio set during the 15th Doctor era of the show, Melanie Bush and the Vlinks, voiced by Nicholas Briggs, will star in adventure as units. Skyscraper is set in lockdown. Leave me alone. Set into lockdown. The World Unit, £25. No. You have not sold me. Rise of the Valiant by Andrew Smith. The Indigo Child by Ken Bentley. The Life and Death of Private Eddie Wise by Hannah Kennedy. Never heard of her. And Dreadstar by Joshua Pruitt and John Lewis Powell. They keep trying to sell this Harry Sullivan and Sarah Jane Smith series. And it's just like, no one cares, mate, right? No one cares. I mean, I think do they have another one of those planned? They normally make 2 box sets of anything, right? I'm intrigued to see if they're going to do any more Jodie era stuff. They're going to do any more Sacha Dhawan Master or what's her name? Joe Martin, the Fugitive Doctor. And they say it's the best-selling stuff they have. Okay, then. Fine. Previous episode said the unit has been a reliable and exciting over an evolving part of the Doctor Who world. It's one of my favorite parts, showcasing flaws and triumphs of human nature through iconic characters such as Brigadier Osgood, Harry Sullivan, and Kate Stewart. I was thrilled to the opportunity to delve deeper into the TARDIS when the TARDIS isn't around. I mean, it is around because David Tennant's around, but okay. The Doctor's friends simply have to do their best and can try against impossible odds. The new range is an anthology series which with each standing alone from the 1970s to 2020. It's a very bad idea. It makes it inconsequential, right? Honestly, what they did with the War Doctor range is make them bigger, right? Make them 3-part stories, and it makes them like into a mini season, like what they're doing with Capaldi, the 12th Doctor late this year, which I'm next year. I'm really looking forward to. Hostile Universe features a close encounter with the Daleks during the Stolen Earth. Finds the Vlinks feeling a bit frosty. The show tells on unit takes on some of its soldiers. The answers to questions of how capable she was spending her time after a house was blown up. I forgot about that. Yeah, no. Not really interested. Sorry. Just doesn't really do it for me. One Langford Hellish Christmas, not interested at all. I can't recommend this. I'm about 2 parts into this. It's not bad. I'm looking forward to being able to review it. Biggest problem I have with it, though, is that it's been a year and a half since the last one, and this is very much as a sequel to it and relies on it. I can't remember who, anything, and what. Like, can we have a previously on Doctor Who, please? Like, who are the Kippers and the major? I don't know. I'm just confused. This is weird. Sophie Aldred announces Christmas audio adventure with Rusty Davis in, apparently. Sophie Aldred, Nicholas Briggs, Rusty Davis, Colin Baker, and Carol Ann Ford, apparently. Sophie Aldred's Ace Odyssey podcast series offers a ghost story for Christmas on a spaceship. Who writes it? That's the question. On Christmas, a new tradition awakens. The Ghost Machine is a haunting, emotionally charged standalone Christmas story, special audio that blends folk horror, science fiction, and festive unease in a grand traditional classic British ghost stories. I'm actually intrigued now. So star Sophie Nicholas Briggs, Caroline Ford, Colin Baker, and James Showers. Dr. Sharon Rusty makes a special cameo appearance. Bad idea. Okay. The story feels very special, says Sophie. It's an intimate. Who writes it? That's really my big question. It's intimate, mysterious, and full of heart. It understands that Christmas isn't only about celebration; it's about memory, kindness, and things we carry with us. Ghost of the Machine is written, produced, and directed by Paul Carmichael with sound effect. I have no idea who is he. What else has he done? What else has he done? Celebrate the aging interstellar vessel Nosferatu 2.5. So it's okay. That's the name of Sablon Glitzer's ship, wasn't it? Right. Ghost of the Machine finds Audrey drawn into a mystery buried deep within the ship's memory, the presence that refuses to remain silent, and a door that was never meant to be opened. There's a strange phenomenon ripple through the corridors, and time itself seems to falter as Sophie must confront the idea that ships, like people, remember the past, and their memories demand to be heard. In this story, the echoes of inheritance and technology ordered by human. God, I'm bored already. Independently produced series, audio drama separate from Doctor Who BBC, hosted by Sophie Aldred, the show blah blah blah. Okay, who is the guy who's doing this? Let's see who makes a cameo. Paul Carmichael. Let's see who he is. Paul Carmichael audio. Audio. Do you reckon this is the guy? I don't know. Is it this Paul Carmichael? I don't know. I know nothing about him. Say audio drama. Let's say audio drama. See what happens there. Oh, audio book. Let's see what happens there. Paul Carmichael book. I don't know. Audiobooks narrated by Paul Carmichael. Okay. Done a lot of Dan Brown stuff, apparently. Oh, okay. If it was over here, Liberator Chronicles. Wonder who was involved in it somehow. I don't know. Okay, but Sophie Aldred is doing that. Good luck, Soph, I guess. New Celestial Toy Room is here. And oh boy, that's a bit of a throwback to the 70s, 80s. That is not an impressive cover. I mean, like, God bless you, whoever made it. Right? But like, we live in a much more professional zine world right now. That just doesn't cut the mustard. I'm sorry. That's better. Right? That's much better. I know. I would, yeah. Where might CBBB's Doctor Who take us? Who cares? New Adventure takes on Transit. I like Transit. Chimes of Midnight. I must give that a listen. Maybe I'll listen to that tomorrow. I want to finish the second Doctor one, right? But I do want to get to it. What we land and see end on a bizarre note. What the finale means for Doctor Who, right? Pick up the bottle. Let's see what ending explains. The finally goes to the dogs quite literally. I was on Homer accurate, luring the pooches. Strong start, but I want to hear what they say went wrong, right? Kate knows the council slayer, blah blah blah. We covered that. Anything more direct? Yeah, let's get to the final scene at the end, which is what they want to talk about. All right. Don't think it was a cliffhanger. To be fair, Barker's probably a lot better off down, but honestly, it's hard to care at this point. What do we? Yeah, this is not done well with the press. Walking back to the car, she spots a jogger callously throw some litter on a bench. Kate tells him to pick it up, like any decent person would, but the jogger refuses because he's an evil white old man, right? Normally, this would just be an awkward, infuriating affair to replay in your mind that night, but when you're trying to sleep, thinking of what you could have said or done differently. But no, not the Who universe. Instead, Kate aims her gun at the man and tells him to pick up the litter, not just once either. She keeps repeating, pick it up! Pick it, you will tell me! Louder and louder until she's screaming with so much rage she can barely hold on, then roll credits. Yeah, it's a weird cliffhanger. I don't think it's a cliffhanger. Presumably, Kate doesn't kill the guy. Hopefully, he picks up the water bottle. Right? That'll be much better. But she's left unhinged in a way we've never seen before. Whether it's the grief, meds, or a mixture of the two, Kate has lost it, and there's a very interesting place for a character. It's going to be completely forgotten to be when she inevitably returns to the next season of Doctor Who. There's no next season of Doctor Who. As a head of unit, Kate wields considerable power, and she's always done so very dependently. And in a fight for good, it happens when when good girl goes bad. Well, that's normally an X-rated video. Not what I want to see with Vanessa, with Gemma Redgrave. How will the rest of the unit react? And even more importantly, what will the Doctor think? We could even have a new Big Bang. No. None of that's happening, okay? None of that is happening. Get over it, mate. Get over it. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.